Okay, guys, so this is project number 5, which is AI Augmented Strategy Simulation. And so for this first generate your strategic scenario, this first prompt that we ran to our LLM, the whole point was to get a specific decision you need to make. And so this strategic decision that I must make is that ChatGPT suggested was, how should you position and grow AI Garden in a highly competitive AI tools market in a way that attracts loyal users, justifies pricing, and differentiates from other AI platforms? So, AI Garden, for context, is this idea that you could have all the large language models that are, you know, the popular ones that people use. So, like ChatGPT, Gemini from Google, any of the Anthropic models like Claude, and then Grok, Meta AI. I don't know, any of them. And instead of basically having to either have subscriptions to all these different platforms, you could just have one that gives you access to all of them. Probably wouldn't be unlimited access like, some of the plus subscriptions offer, but you would at least get access to all of the models that are exclusive to paying members. And you do that through the API integrations. And so, anyway, it's all theoretical, but here we go. So, phase 1, discover. Prompt used. What kinds of information should I gather before making a decision about how to position AI Garden in a crowded market? And it responded with, this is just a summary of it. There's a pretty big response, but benchmark pricing and features of existing AI tools. So looking at what other like ChatGPT, Claude, etc., where are they charging monthly and what kind of tools do they provide? And then understand the pain points. So again, it would be frustrating if I wanted to access all these models, but I had to pay $20 a month to 5 different companies. Just like, ugh, come on. I want all of them in one spot. That's the other thing, one spot. You got to switch to different tabs to get all these or different applications. And key user segments. So who's this targeting? Solopreneurs, startups, teams needing efficiency. Maybe it's students. Legal considerations for offering third-party LLMs in one interface. This is important because there's been no really deep dive into the legal side to it. So, takeaway, AI Garden should focus on reducing friction, tool overload, lowering AI access costs, and improving integration with workflows. So, phase 2, generate. So, the prompt used here was, what are 5 to 7 ways I could position AI Garden to attract users and stand out from the competitors? And here's a summary, but basically advertising it as a one-stop AI model hub, which I like. I think that that's the MVP. Highlight the cost savings. So instead of paying $100 across 5 different large language model providers, pay just $20 and get access to all of them. I think that's pretty hard to like. I mean, how do you beat that, right? So focus on business productivity and integrations. I think building tools that are like pretty specific for certain use cases, and then integrating other tools through APIs like Google, Slack, Notion. Offer white glove audits and automation tools for small businesses. I think this would be a different sector of like the business where you might offer a more personalized, basically partnership with a company where you say, hey, like, let me do an audit on your business, see where you could use AI to either optimize a task, automate a task, or just boost efficiency, or even maybe find ways to get more leads or something. And that would obviously be a much more expensive, um, you know, MRR. I'm thinking maybe like $250 a month at least. Maybe some setup costs there, but I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Use freemium model, just like everybody's been doing, right? So you get access to maybe all the models, but limited to 5 queries a day or something. I didn't like this one. Target consultant teams who work across industries and need multiple LLMs. Nah. Positioning as a time-saving unified chat workspace. I think that that's also keys. So not only is it all your AI models in one spot, but like think about how much more convenient it would be to just have it all in one spot rather than going to Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and going all the different websites. So, key takeaway, multiple viable directions emerged, but the strongest aligned with the value, simplicity, and cost reduction. So, to me, that really just means all your AI models and all the AI models in one spot for $20 a month. And that's it. I don't know. So, evaluate, play devil's advocate. What's the case against this positioning strategy? So, the top one is easily the most relevant here. Legal and IP risks if model access isn't compliant. There are some restrictions. It's a dog toy. There's some restrictions on the APIs that like Gemini or ChatGPT provide. There's they limit how much they can be used. So like if I had like 10,000 users using this, I probably would exceed that limit every day. And then what are you paying for? So it's a huge one to really look into. And maybe they don't want their models, integrated in the same platform as other LLMs. So got to look into that. Users might not trust a third-party AI gateway. Yeah, I think that there's ways around that. If it's established and it's right, and you do like a money back guarantee. I don't know. Market is saturated. Standing out is hard. Very true. Personalized services don't scale well without automation. I don't even know what that means. Prompt use SWOT to assess this direction. So the strengths, centralized tool, cost-effective, customizable, weakness, trust, legal clarity, complexity of implementation. Opportunities, AI adoption is growing rapidly, businesses need guidance. Threats, major players entering the space, user churn if experience isn't seamless. So I think to accommodate for the user churn if it isn't seamless would be making it like free during a beta period, and then once it's like, okay, we got this dialed, let's roll out some pricing. Takeaway, refined positioning with a focus on transparency, scalable features, and clearly articulated value. And that's going to be the hardest part to navigate, I think, because there's so much potential. There's so many things going on, and every other day there's a new feature coming out. So just focusing on an MVP in this situation. I don't know if I have anything else. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, communicate. Simulate a conversation with someone who doubts the need for AI Garden. So somebody says, why would I use your platform when I already have ChatGPT and Claude open in my browser? Most users don't just want access, they want efficiency. AI Garden eliminates the cost and chaos of multiple subscriptions and tabs, giving you instant access to every top model, plus integrated tools like Google Workspace, and Slack, all in one interface for a fraction of the cost. Prompt used. To touch on this real quick. So I had AI write this. I don't know if we were supposed to write it ourselves or not, but one thing I would change here is the Google Workspace and Slack. Like, I would just honestly focus on eliminates the cost and chaos of multiple subscriptions, and accessing the different models on different platforms. I think that's the MVP. Prompt used, give feedback from the perspective of a tech-savvy small business owner. And the feedback, so wants to know how the data is handled securely, likes the idea of LM access and workflow tools all in one place, would be willing to pay if it saved time and replace multiple tools. So takeaway, the messaging must emphasize convenience, affordability, and trusted use cases, not just AI access. And I think, again, that is the biggest, or I guess that is kind of like what this is trying to solve, is like, look, it's annoying to pay multiple subscriptions for these different tools that all relatively do the same thing. And you just want to access the best one at that time. So like this gives it that. And then also affordability. If you're not paying for 5 different models, just doing one, it's a pretty good deal. So I'm over time, so I guess I do have reflection questions though. So I'm gonna go quick. What was the most helpful or surprising thing about using AI in this way? Honestly, just it broke it down so well. It's good to like walk through that. Like there's a lot of questions, you would want to look more into in this case. How did your thinking evolve across the phases? more legal. I think I'm focused more on like the legal and what are the restrictions that these APIs might have. Um, so, anyway, really cool. I think this was actually really great. So, I appreciate whoever wrote all these prompts because I think this will be useful stuff. So, cheers.